Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the women's strawweight bout between Cynthia Calvillo versus Lupita Godinez or Lupi Godinez. And how I see one right here, I'm going low confidence Lupita Godinez. And you might say, why? It's like everything's leaning to Lupita Godinez. This should be a lock pick, but look, when you look at Lupita Godinez, has she been such a trustworthy commodity? She's not. Like every time she takes a step up, loss, loss, loss. People she's beating, like, I think the best person she has beaten was the undersized, that little undersized Thai fighter whose name I'll be mixing. Like sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't, but I ain't gonna look it up. I know exactly what I'm talking about, but yeah, the little small Thai fighter, she was able to wrestle. So she found probably the smallest woman in the weight class, and she wrestled. She wrestled a striker. Congrats, that's your best win in the weight class. Then another win, you got a good win where even I got hyped over from her being like a 40-year-old striker. Another name I'm forgetting, but like just look on the record, you know who it is. But maybe the names ain't really worth remembering at this moment, or maybe they just ain't do enough for me to them to be sitting on top of my head, like without me being in front of a computer to say, oh, she lost her, she lost her. But like I watched the fight, I know who they is, but we're not. But anyway, I'm still picking Lupita Godinez here. I'm picking her at low confidence, but I'm picking her. Like I said, everything is leaning her way, but it's also a big factor the fact that she really ain't too much different from Cynthia Calvillo. It's like almost she's the now Cynthia Calvillo, if not actually a worse Cynthia Calvillo right now. Because Cynthia Calvillo was like, seemed like had good hope at 115, was supposed to be a bright prospect at 115. Actually, should have beaten Marina Rodriguez, who's has went up further in the weight class and she went up to 125, but like Marina Rodriguez went on to have success in this weight class and was very close to a title shot. She was very much up there with her, and she at the time for her. This was actually when I was in the fight UFC came to DC and I watched this fight live. I felt it was a clear win for Cynthia Calvillo at the time when Calvillo was actually still a good prospect and a good contender at 115 or 125. And so yeah, you can see she actually has fought and really should have beaten some very good women in these weight classes. I think her first big upset loss was to Carla Esparza. A lot of people thought she was supposed to beat her, and Carla Esparza actually beat her in a striking match. I mean, Carla Esparza beat her in a striking match. So when like Lupita Godinez, she still hasn't really had that really good performance against a solid talent. I think the best person she fought was um, she just fought her with Angela Hill, and she lost. She lost. So I feel like Cynthia Calvillo actually has accomplished more than her. And let's get back to the bread and butter of it, or the bone, meat and bone of it. Both these women are wrestlers primarily, or grapplers primarily, who can strike at times. But neither of them are the greatest striker. Like Lupita Godinez at times, like she's very passionate, very fiery with her striking, but she's not the most technical striker, as we have seen. Like she could throw with some heat at times, but she's not really a knockout puncher. She's not really a technical striker, primarily a grappler. But yeah, she could throw with some heat at sometimes. Cynthia Calvillo at no point was ever really a super clean striker, but she can mix in her striking enough to score takedowns. And like I said, she could try strike for a limited time with some of the best strikers for a limited time before she threatens with the takedown. So again, these are the primary strikers. And Calvillo has had success at a higher weight class, so she's coming back down to 115, supposedly with a nutritionist, supposedly this, supposedly that. So if she's coming down, she's healthy and she's motivated. But again, she's 35, so that's not a good thing. Not good thing on her side. But hey, if she's remotivated, it could be a big issue. This could pull off be another loss for Calvillo. So again, I'm not gonna come in here super confident on Calvillo. If anything, it's probably gonna be a decision fight, no matter who wins. That's probably where your confidence should be. But yeah, it's a lot of different things I don't really like on either side. But again, Lupita Godinez got momentum, though she's coming off a loss to Angela Hill, but she has not lost 2 fights back to back, and she's still at least looking like a decent talent at this weight class. Still look decently motivated, whereas Calvillo in her last couple fights has looked completely flat. So that's the momentum she has. She at least looked like she still wants to do it. She's still gonna come in better. Whereas Calvillo is like, do you even want to do this? Like, hey, you're gonna come in good shape and stuff. You're making the weight class again, but you can do all this stuff. But are you just going through the motions? We don't know that yet. I don't like a woman, or I don't like a fighter who's going through the motions at this point in their career. I'm gonna lead the fighter who at least you may be trading wins and losses, but you still, and also you may have never, you always failed when you fought decent competition, but at least you're motivated. At least you're trying to get better. And I'm saying you improve every fight. You might not be winning these fights. You may keep losing in these big fights or these step up fights, but I am seeing improvement in every single time you step back out. So going with the fighter that's I've been seeing improvement, at least got some fire. I'm going to Lupita Godinez again, low confidence because again, like when has she really backed it up at a significant level? But this is kind of like a discount, decent level, because you got to fight her at a bargain brand in Cynthia Calvillo. This is not Cynthia Calvillo when she was hot. It's Cynthia Calvillo off layaway. So this is a fight you should come through on. Everything should be in your way to win, but you're probably going to win a close, ugly decision over here. It's probably be very competitive. But it's going to win on here over chinny chin chin, probably score a takedown, probably fight a little bit more in the later rounds, and win like a 29-28, probably split decision over Cynthia Calvillo. 28-28, like 28-28 or something like, yeah. Split decision, not majority decision, split decision, but yeah. So in this one, I got Lupita Godinez via decision.